in a way that made it not about buildings and land use planning and transportation, but it was about the effect that has on people. So I bring forward this pie graph from last year's Complete Streets Forum. They talked about how you need these to be sort of audiences to be all in agreement at the same time to get good Complete Streets policy. And our campaign is really focusing at the piece about citizen engagement. So the context for when we launched this social marketing campaign last May last year was that the green banner at the bottom, that's the health department's priority about doing a campaign about healthy living and healthy environments. And so we were thinking, wouldn't it be really cool to do something around Complete Streets? And we were looking for a municipal partner. And there's 4 municipalities in Halton, and we came across Burlington as being ready for something like this. Because at the same time, you see at the top, there's a picture of they were doing an implementation study for Complete Streets design on Plains Road. So if you can imagine, just for orientation, the highway on the left is going to Niagara, and above on top you would have IKEA. If you kept going down, like past where the picture ends, another 7 kilometers, you would get to the Royal Botanical Gardens. So it's kind of connecting Burlington to Hamilton. In terms of the campaign goals, so there is a community group in Plains Road called the Plains Road Village Vision Committee, and their goal is to have a vibrant Main Street in the heart of Aldershot Village. So basically our goal is to communicate information about this vision and also try to engage the public and thereby building capacity of the partners in the area. So our target audience was not to change naysayers' minds. If you've ever experienced these folks that come up to PICs, it's almost impossible to change their minds. So our goal was really to bring out that silent majority, those dormant folks who may not want to go to a public meeting on Tuesday night or write into their counselor or call the city. So how can we engage those folks? And also to target key opinion leaders. There's lots in every community. So how can we get them on board and thereby their followers as well? So social marketing campaigns are about behavior change. Our behavior change that we were looking for was to show that you support the changes happening on Plains Road so that they can realize their full potential. So we had buttons, we had reusable bags, there's a lot of businesses, not Plains Road, a lot of retail. And we also had pledges, and that was probably one of our biggest things. So on the green side, it's all our key messages, all our key calls to action. And on the white side, you can write your name out and why you support the vision. And then just for our evaluation purposes, like where do you live, how do you find out about this. You could also sign up for our newsletters, another way that people could take action. That's on the green side. We had Plains Road Village Vision didn't really have an online presence, so we put together with them a website, and our partners updated their websites as well, including the region. And the idea was, although we had that black and yellow kind of theme for the branding of the campaign, we also wanted our key partners involved in planning the campaign to also reinforce the message with their own branding, so that everyone's kind of singing the same tune. That was really key for the whole project, is bringing the partners together. So the Halton Region Health Department that I'm part of, we developed those green fact sheets based on Niagara, Niagara's Healthy Living Network, but connecting the economic value of active transportation to health, to tourism, to local business. You'll see the orange kind of flyers there. We did the Plains Road Village Vision did these flyers that went out to all 7,000 homes and businesses in the Aldershot community, explaining what's going on and how they're moving forward at the beginning of the campaign and then at the end. And the BIA, unfortunately, he couldn't be here today, Bob, in the wait there. He helped initiate 2 breakfast meetings for their members to explain the campaign and tell them, what is Complete Streets, what does it mean for businesses. And he has this sort of famous quote saying, Complete Streets is good for business. So I wish he was here so you could all be tweeting at it right now. Activities. So this is our collaborative group. Kathy is still working for us in the back, taking pictures. And there were more, but that's our group. And basically we came up with any opportunity there was in the community over 6 months, from May to the end of October. So we started with the James Walk, launching that. If there was any kind of event, we were there promoting our bags, our pledges. The Peaches and Cream was a backyard social, where we invite key opinion leaders, to get them engaged in the topic, explore opportunities of how we could partner in the future. The Plains Road project was kind of exciting. It was a different way of implementing the pledge. So the board on the corner of key spots along Plains Road over 3 weekends in October, and passerbys would complete the sentence. What does it mean to them? What are their hopes? What are their concerns? What are their dreams for the future? And then, of course, partnering with the businesses along Plains Road. 1 minute for the whole thing?
I think that it depends on the structure. Are you presenting the whole thing, Kendra?
Most of it.
Oh, then it's not 1 minute.
You have like 11 minutes.
Okay, 11 minutes is a lot
Just
better.
trying to look good. Right.
So Plains Road was really cool, bringing the pledge alive on the street, and it allowed people to have more diversity in opinion, and more conversation happening with the volunteers engaged in the project with the community itself. And the Shop Local, I think I'd already gotten into that, was where we had a bunch of businesses on Plains Road saying if you sign the pledge, you'll get a free bag, and the businesses could stuff the bags with their promotional materials. And there was also a contest as well. So if you filled in the pledge, you were entered into a draw as well. So as a result of doing all this work, we had a lot of positive outcomes. One of them was media coverage in our local Burlington Post paper. So these are just some cutouts of different headlines. You see our bags in the corner and our cups there as well on the cover, which is always beneficial. And we had hundreds of comments, really powerful, positive comments as a result of doing the pledges. And you can see them here. What was interesting is we had some familiar voices, but also new voices. In terms of, now we're going to get into sharing and speaking. So since I'm talking, I'll just keep going. The health reasons, what we brought to the table was some coordination. We can talk about complete streets without being tied to a particular project, and we have the skills of how to engage the community, how to plan a social marketing campaign, and evaluate it. And what we got out of it was showing another way that public health can be involved in the complete streets conversation, not just as a list of one of the benefits, but also actually actively engaging the community. And of course, we can do evidence and do other things as well, but this is just another example to showcase how public health can get involved. So our business person is sick with the flu today, so Councillor David, I believe, is going to fill in for that.
I'm a member of the Business Improvement Area, and the BIA was a full partner in this effort to communicate with the public. And the great thing that happened was that this whole effort also elevated the presence of the Business Improvement Area in the community, because simultaneously with this project, the BIA had hired a new coordinator. So the new coordinator got involved in this project with a great deal of enthusiasm and got the businesses to come together in support of the effort to communicate with people about what was going on along the Plains Road corridor. And in fact, they hosted, as Kendra mentioned, a public breakfast opportunity, which turned out to be the biggest event the BIA had ever had. And that was because of the connectivity of all of this social marketing. So really well done.
So from a city perspective, I was involved with the engineering department in the functional design study for the Plains Road corridor. Bob Quindial is here today. He worked very closely from Marshall Macklin from MMN group. But that road design really began from a planning vision for the evolution of Plains Road as a community. And it built on the urban design guidelines, which the city had developed along with the PRBB for the private realm. So we were seeing new development come and meeting those design guidelines. This was the public realm piece. And so it ran for the full 7 kilometers and included a lot of public meetings and open houses. And we were receiving a lot of resistance from the community to some of the changes. So the functional design study was really what a complete street would look like and how we would implement that over the next 15 years. But we had received some pushback to some of the elements of that design. And so partnering with the health department and with the business community was a great way for us to show the benefits of the design that we and for the residents to see the real reason why the functional design study was taking a complete streets approach to this piece of roadway through their community. So we did encounter, less resistance at future public meetings. We noticed a shift in the tone at those public meetings, and hopefully that will translate to more support in the coming years as we implement the project, which did end up getting approved by City Council.
So the councillor's office, I believe, was an important part of all of this. And if you move ahead with something like this in your community with regard to an outreach communications effort, I think you need to involve your local council for a variety of reasons. Your local councillor's office can provide the kind of logistical support which is critical to holding all of this together. Through councillor's assistants like Kathy here, we were able to do the mailings and arrange the meetings and do all of those important nuts and bolts things that are critical to the success of any communications campaign. But also the ward councillor is extremely familiar with the neighborhood. And as good a job as staff do, they're not on that street every day, the ward councillor is. The ward councillor knows the leaders, the personalities, knows the problems and the pitfalls. So it's important to involve the ward councillor. In addition, the ward councillor has a little money. In most cases, the ward councillor has a small budget, which we use to assist with this project in some small ways. And the ward councillor also achieved a small donation from the city to the James Walk program, which helped to celebrate what was going on along the Plains Road corridor. So I believe you will find that if you move ahead with this kind of project, it's very important to integrate the role of the city councillor in this. Finally, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the Plains Road Village Vision Group. The Plains Road Village Vision Group was founded in the late 90s. And they were a key factor in all of this because the Plains Road Village Vision Group had the view that they were going to transform Plains Road from a highway that divided the community to a ribbon that tied the community together. And they've been working on that for the past decade. So they were very excited about this initiative that was brought to us by Kendra and by the Health Department, supported by the City of Burlington. And what it did for the Plains Road Village Vision Group was it rejuvenated the excitement and the vision and brought more people to the table and resulted in a number of significant improvements, such as the establishment of the new website and volunteers to maintain that website. So a lot of good things happened, not only at the civic level, but at the community level and at the volunteer level to support our transformation of the Plains Road corridor.
So just reflecting on the project as a whole, we really felt that partnership is key. Just to have that extra voices at the table, so it's not the same people saying the same things, but trying to broaden it. And if we had more time, we would have tried to broaden that further. That gets to the second point around time. We would have liked to engage youth, parents. There's a lot of churches on Plains Road. There are a lot of little niche populations that we could have delved into if we had more time. We spent 3 months planning, 6 months implementing. If you were to do this, I would recommend doubling that. And also capturing some of that qualitative process data as well, if you can have time for that. We talked about all the different kinds of supports needed. The health department put in about half the budget, which was $20,000. It was the bags that were really the most expensive thing. They're $2 each with tax. And a lot of in-kind, of course, all the volunteer hours, and we're not counting staff hours either. And we didn't get into social media very much. It was more about getting the website off the ground as being our base. So if you were considering that in the future, you want to also think about all the human resources and technical expertise to do that. We always met in the community, and we thought that was important to be sort of close to the street and connected. And what we would like to see happen is, if you're doing this again, do the campaign in such a way that people have enough ownership over it to repeat it in the future. So the James Walk happened again, the Shop Local stuff is going to happen again this fall. So if those elements can be kept alive, it's all the better. And we were going to show a video which we can't seem to connect to the internet, so this is your homework. To Google on YouTube, Connecting People and Places on Plains. It's a great video, kind of done last minute, but it has us and some other folks giving their take on the street, and so this is something that you can share with other people. And the other piece I would recommend you doing is do your own. Complete Streets is, whether it's through Twitter or Instagram or whatever piece, complete that, send events as a result of your participation in this conference today, or your experience so far during this panel. So I'm sorry to pinch our video, but I guess that means you saved time and an earlier lunch.